What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the G Show. Our look at the 2020 G1 Climax 30 from New Japan Pro Wrestling. I am Justin here with Cyrus. We had a bit of a layoff. I know we said last week that we were going to be back on Wednesday, but I think, when we took a look at the shows and we kind of surveyed the data here, I looked at, from around night 9 all the way to 12. Night 9 wasn't really like it wouldn't have been worth the content for you guys to just do night 9 and 10. There wasn't really much there wasn't much to talk about. It seemed to be like, we're hitting the middle part of this where like things are starting to kind of like break down. But luckily we're going to be going into overdrive soon, but I didn't want to, we didn't want to waste you guys' time with another 30 minutes of things that were just kind of like, a
lot of kind of like more or less middle of the road matches. Like last episode, I started calling this like the downhill jam, and we're still here.
Yeah, we are still definitely in that moment here. And 11 and 12, I can't say like much has changed, but in the end, we wanted to do a bigger episode where we just talked about the things that we roughly liked on these shows before heading into the next week. We have a break right now. They won't be back until the 10th. So next weekend, or this upcoming weekend with 10th and 11th, it'll be A block and B block, and then they'll have another break for the 13th and 14th, and another break then as we start to wind down the G1. This all ends on the 17th, so we only got one more week left. we have till next Saturday.
That's kind of crazy because that's when I have like my work vacation from work. Like, so that's gonna be fire.
So no more work for you. I won't ask you for anything for a week.
Yeah, this is about to be heat.
But then we gotta review Victory Road after that. So.
Oh yeah. Do you even remember the show? Like, I'm trying to keep the show piece together in my head, but like I'm forgetting more and more every day.
Nah, I took notes. You should have taken notes too. So you might need to rewatch it, bro.
Oh, please don't make me rewatch, bro.
Well, looks like Cyrus has a lot more homework to do as we step into G1 Climax Night 9. And what we're going to do until we get to Night 12, which is the most recent night, we're going to run through our two favorite two favorite matches from each night from the 9th, 10th, and 11th nights of the G1. Starting with Night 9, we're going to go straight into Ishii versus Taichi. Really, really good match here, man. I got to say that Ishii's been killing it throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah, he's great, and I'm liking Taichi more and more. Like every match, every good match that he has, like he's doing some really good stuff, and he's really showing his stuff against Ishii here. And I forget that he used to be a Neverweight Open champion, so that's why he can hang.
Yeah, he definitely can hang with these slugger matches. And then at night 10. We have I'm skipping ahead way too far here. We're really trying to get away from these down nights. We have the main event of Ibushi versus Ospreay. I was a little disappointed by this main event. I felt like Ishii Taichi was the better match here.
Yeah. After watching this match, I immediately text you like, this isn't better than their match a couple of years ago. Like it's really not. And this match doesn't have like that, that I guess like gifable moment where he does the Hurricane Rana from the top and Ospreay lands on his feet. Nothing like that. It's a very instead of like all the quote unquote flippy stuff, it's a lot more wrestling in it, and I guess like to their detriment.
Yeah, I mean the flippy stuff's still there. There's still like the weird stuff that people don't like is still in there. It's just that it just really felt like there wasn't a third gear to the match. Yeah. And I say that about a lot of matches on the G1 this year. It feels like they are trying to save up so that they don't get injured or so that they don't, give everything away. But clearly the quality has kind of sunk a little bit. Like it's kind of becoming actually, and I'm surprised that it took this long for it to get this way, because I think last year's G1 we were checked out by night 4. It was like you've done everything that you could do, but there's still like the people on the G1 that we're we know they're going to give us a banger every time, but with this one we were really excited about this match, and I think I came out a little bit meh about it in the end. Ospreay, I believe he took a loss here. Yeah, he took a loss here, and it was definitely a shock. But they're keeping Ibushi strong here and keeping him in the game.
Yeah, and I guess like if they have another match in the future at some point, hopefully it's a lot better than this one. Honestly.
Yeah, and then we go into night 10, which was a B block night.
Wait? This has to be the few times where B block is kind of better than A block.
Yeah, night 10 was an objectively better show. You had Naito versus Yoshihashi, which went for a very long time. How'd you feel about, again, Yoshihashi on the losing end of all these matches, but still having really long matches and people taking him serious?
I don't get the point of him going really long and then losing. I like showing that he like before the G1 and stuff, like he would never go this long. So I guess they're really putting like their eggs in this basket, man. Like he's a young guy who can go the distance, and they've shown that, but I don't think they have to keep showing that, And against Naito, like whenever those matches get really long, it just becomes like, Destino spam at that point,
Yeah, and we're seeing that a lot from him lately. But I mean, I thought it was a good match still. It went a little long. Nothing as long as what we see on night 12, which is just some perplexingly lengthy matches that are a lot of like just playing the hits in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But the main event of this show was a spectacular match between Kenta and Tanahashi. I thought was one of my favorite matches of the tournament. Like I really enjoyed this. I think Tanahashi's gift is taking these matches and taking these characters and really elevating them, because every single match he's had against everyone here so far, and he does this every damn year, Cyrus. He manages to make the most out of it.
This is probably like my favorite match of the past, the 4 nights that we're about to cover. Like I thought this match was like excellent, really good, and it even has like like a weird interference ref bump spot or whatever, cheating and stuff, but like I thought it was really good. I thought it really worked.
Yeah, it absolutely
and often
did.
in New Japan that doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, New Japan hasn't had a lot of arguments towards people who were best wrestler or could be in that conversation. But I think, again, for the second year in a row, Tanahashi's up there for me. Like he is definitely, again, at his age, at his advanced age, injuries, all of that stuff, he's managed to like reinvent himself, and all that rest and all that the break that they took really did help him out a lot. Yeah, he definitely is back. Really good match. Again, Tanahashi fighting back from under and defeating Kenta there on night 10. Night 11, we saw our first elimination with Yujiro losing. We knew this was coming. It was very imminent. Yujiro to be knocked out. But we also saw Ospreay versus Minoru Suzuki, which was a first-time match. This was a show of a bunch of first-time matches, and I thought this match was really freaking swell. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and one of my favorite parts is like Suzuki just making him bleed, like just off chops. Like I was just like, that's insane. And this is just a really good match altogether, I think. So, no, this is the first time I've ever heard English commentary for the whole G1.
So you're hearing racist Kevin Kelly?
Yeah, and you know what? He's kind of killing it here. He talks about like Ospreay being just like very like scared of Suzuki, like everybody is, and they just like wanted to get the match over with. And he kind of showed a lot of resiliency against Ishii, and he showed it here. But he managed to get the win again against these veteran type guys. And it was a really good match.
Well, the story here, right, was that he was trying to rely on his high flyer moveset, and it wasn't working against Suzuki. He was countering the stun guns, he was countering the Hurricane Radas, all of that stuff. Suzuki he was like, yo, this is some junior shit. We're past that, and Ospreay had to essentially win with his heavyweight move, which is the Stormbreaker. He hit one of them, and it was 1, 2, 3. I like the psychology here. Once again, Ospreay moving on up. They're giving him a lot, Cyrus. Like,
yeah, they're giving him a lot, and
very upset.
I like that he's slowly shedding his junior stuff, because I think he works way better when he's not doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Suzuki, just like Tanahashi, managing to bend his style to the will of anyone he's facing, and for someone he's never faced before in Ospreay, really like turned it out and came up with a match that was different than anything we've seen on the G1 this year. Then for the main event, we had Ibushi versus Shingo. A lot of people throwing 5 stars at this one, man. This was another first time match, never seen it before. These guys crossed paths, but never at the same time in the same company. This is the first time they've ever done it, and they went crazy. Another one of my favorite matches of the tournament between Ibushi and Shingo.
This match was really good, and you know what? The pack was in the air, but we're just gonna have to seal that bag real tight because Shingo took the win here, and I popped, I screamed.
Really big for Ibushi on his level to take a loss to Shingo, who effectively, I mean, to be honest, is on the mid card or the upper mid card in New Japan right now, right?
Yeah, that honestly, that's why I was like so surprised, and I popped for it. I was definitely like, yeah, Shingo's gonna lose here. Like, I don't know anybody that saw him going against Ibushi and was just like, yeah, Shingo's definitely gonna take it in their first time match. Like,
yeah,
totally unexpected, and I'm happy that Shingo got the win here. It's not do or die for Ibushi right now, right?
No, it's not. No.
No, okay.
It is absolutely do or die, or at that point of the tournament, it was do or die for Shingo, but he bought himself a little bit more time.
Yeah, I'm just like, who's gonna do him in?
I mean, he's got a couple losses to take, but there's only a couple of nights left. We're running into the finish line here, but I thought it was a spectacular main event. So if of all of the 4 shows, I would say check out Kenta Tanahashi, absolutely Ibushi, Shingo, and Ospreay Suzuki. Those are my, without a doubt, one matches or a few matches that you have to see off of these shows.
And you could probably watch this match in GIF form, but Hiroki Goto versus Soriano.
Oh God,
classic.
Yeah. 18 seconds, the fastest G1 match of all time.
And you know what? It was for the right people.
Absolutely. Well, I know you were like, "What?" You couldn't believe it. That was as American wrestling as you could get.
Yeah, I had joy in my eyes knowing that a Soriano match ended dumb fast.
But let's get into night 12, which aired last night on. It came to us from the Zip Arena in Okayama. I guess the Kevin Kelly commentary that comes like days later. I think you had said like you were so late that the English commentary actually went up. It's been about 2 to 3 days a wait between the English commentary for these shows.
Yeah, so I watched English commentary for 11, and then 12 it was back to Japanese, and I was just like, yeah, this is much better.
Yeah,
because Kevin Kelly's there alone, so he's just like talking to himself, and.
Rocky Romero? I thought Rocky would be there.
Yeah, me too. So when he was just talking to himself, I was just like, this isn't gonna work for me.
Yeah. So this was, of course, another B block night. in a world of B block nights, we have a night here. We have Yoshihashi versus Hiroki Goto. Their second time meeting. And Yoshihashi, again, trying to save himself. This is the last match he has before, if he loses this, he's out. And really, really lengthy match here between these two. Yoshihashi tries to pick up Goto for karma, and then he slips out, which eventually leads Goto to give him the GTR for the win, which eliminates Yoshihashi from the G1. In general, as a whole, how did you feel about Yoshihashi's G1 run here?
I thought it was really good. Like I said earlier, it proves that he's resilient and he can turn, like, he's finally given that push where he could show his stuff, and he did.
Yeah.
So if he were to get any other like title shots in the future after that, I think it's well deserved. Am I a fan of a lot of these matches, these long matches, and that he's showing? Not really, but he's showing that he got his stuff versus like a couple years ago when he could cuss himself.
Yeah, yeah.
I can take him seriously now.
Yeah, I think that their mission accomplished on that end. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
People do did take him serious. I'm wondering what the story was here with eventually having him lose. I think that Juice Robinson was able to tell a really cool story about him losing so much, and which eventually led to him winning the U.S. title. But
Hmm.
with this, it's like, the titles are so locked in. It's just very hard for me seeing Yoshihashi with a never title or an Intercontinental title or anything like that. Well, he can't even get that right now. But he won against everyone except for the top guys on this, and I think it's definitely very there's a lot of confidence in him, but I'm not sure that they're still confident to give him a run. I mean, you had Goto beat him, and everyone beats Goto. So essentially, it's saying something different.
I think it's a deeper plot, since they're tag team partners. So I guess that will lead to them losing the so important trios titles, and then possibly him moving forward in the future.
Absolutely. Next match that we had was Zack Sabre Jr. and Toru Yano. They've only met one time in 2018. Sabre beat Yano in 10 minutes, and Yano and Sabre go for over 10 minutes here, about 15 minutes.
A lot of dumb stuff going on here. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Do
Zack
you
Sabre on all fours?
Yeah, but hey yo, but don't you do you hate when they try to get the count out victory? Because I hate that a lot. Zack Sabre Jr. is dragging him with the ankle lock, and then oh my god, I'm gonna sprint to the ring, and hopefully Yano doesn't manages to make it. What the hell?
Yeah, it was that. I think when it works in the big matches, that it works. I think they were overdoing it back in 2017 when every Tanahashi match had to have it, every Tanahashi Okada match had to have it, and it was just okay, we get it. And in fact, every Kenny Omega had to have our match had to have it too, and we were just we get it. But here, it was like a hat on top of a hat, right? It was they were doing that. They were doing the turnbuckle stuff. They were doing the comedy stuff. They were doing the low blow stuff. They were just doing a lot of things here that it was just okay, this is the culmination of all the cheating that you could do in one match.
And I'm heated when I see the ref trying to stop Toru Yano from hitting Zack Sabre Jr. with the buckle pad, and then Yano just pushes him slightly. The ref sees him just hit Zack Sabre Jr. and he's just fuck it, I'll count. When will we actually get a disqualification at any point?
No, never. Never, ever. It's never going to happen.
Is anything truly cheating? If anything goes?
Well, I mean, I guess it's AEW rules. There's a bunch of cheating in those matches too. Zack Sabre Jr. wins with the death lock here. Yano taps. It looks like they're starting to cool Yano down from being on the top of the fucking rankings. They're starting to cool him down a lot in the past 2 nights. So absolutely needs to happen. Zack Sabre Jr. gets another 2 points. Next up, we have Sonata versus Kenta. Sonata beat Kenta last year, I think around this time, and a lot of distraction stuff. I'm not sure that Kenta got what he needed to get out of Sonata that he got out of everyone else on the tournament this year in the B-Block. I found this to be a little boring there. I'm not going to lie.
It's a Sonata match, man. There's what is there truly to say? I definitely the amazing run that Kenta has been having of just, excellent matches back to back to back has now stopped. Mm-hmm. And that sucks because Kenta has been doing great stuff throughout this whole tournament. And Sonata just...
He's not it, man. He's not it.
He's not it, and I don't know why you would have Kenta lose to him.
Yeah, I'm not... I don't know why he's doing this many losses unless they're going to give Kenta the provisional or the interim U.S. title at this point. Because it seems like they're building up challengers for the briefcase, but we don't even know that the briefcase will be used anytime soon here. It's a weird story they're doing this briefcase. At this point, I'm just have Moxley send the fucking belt in and just give it to Kenta at this point. He's the champion in my eyes.
they really don't want to do that. But if you do it, I would completely understand. I don't think
Exactly.
anybody would be upset.
Yeah, COVID is not going away here anytime soon. You are not getting Moxley on a jet to go there, no matter how many times they bring up New Japan on AEW television. He's just not going to go there anytime soon. It just doesn't make sense. Just
Yes.
make a new belt, like,
No,
and give it to Kenta.
yeah, or just have him send it over, and then when he's able to come over, have the match, have him lose, and then Kenta's your rightful champion.
Exactly, and it just doesn't make sense that he's like losing all these matches, and then in all likelihood, I believe Kenta will probably go back to Orlando or California or whatever, and he'll continue to do the New Japan Strong shows because he was a fixture on those shows.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it doesn't. Just having him go back as a loser is really weird. But I get that you have to cool him down because he was kind of at the top. But having him lose to like Sonata, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
completely unneeded.
Sonata's never going to the United States to it's just weird. Next up we have Juice Robinson versus Naito. Ooh, this one was very, 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 very long. It went about almost 28 minutes. Cyrus.
Amen. Had to hit the PS4 button, bro. I stared at my phone for like a good 5 minutes, and I looked up, and they were laying down. I said, "All right, bruh, let me hit that."
Yeah, you gotta light up to endure this match. For a match that I never ever truly believed that Juice had a chance to win, they were definitely making it seem like he could, which I guess shows that how much faith they have in him. But Naito gave him a lot. I'm not gonna lie. He was very game. He gave Juice a lot. I thought that the crowd was into it, more than they were into anything else on the show. But again, like Juice hit another jackhammer, then he countered the jackhammer into the Destino, which was a cool spot, and then
he's getting a lot of those reversal Destinos off, which is cool.
They look clean. They really did look clean. But again, like the story of the match is that Pulp Friction is again protected. He doesn't hit the Pulp Friction here. He gets 2 Destinos and he's out. I feel like this was a match where they were trying to make it long to make it seem epic. And sometimes you don't need long matches to be epic. It was the same thing that we said about like Kenny and Okada going for 60 minutes. It didn't need to go 60 minutes for us to love the match. In fact, if our favorite, some people's favorite Kenny Omega Okada match was the G1 match where Kenny finally beat him. So it was like, we don't need long matches for it to be epic. And I felt like on a show that had 2 really long matches in a fucking row, this didn't need to be. This didn't need to go. It didn't need to go this long.
Definitely should have slowed it down, but they just don't. So in this card, we have like Yoshihashi having really long matches. For some reason, the Zack Sabre Jr. match is really long, and then so on and so forth.
This wasn't even the main event. Sorry.
And then the main event is shorter than most of the matches on the card.
Exactly.
Who's putting these shows together?
Yeah, we got to talk about New Japan style here. Like, whoever is planning these matches and allowing them to go for as long as they're going. Like, I get that the tag team matches are not here. I get that you're getting one Young Lion match, but that should mean the shows are shorter, not longer. They've been getting longer in the past week, and that is not a good thing. And it's not a good sign for next week's finals. I'll say that much. Like it's very worrying for what's going to happen to the finals next year, or not next year, next weekend.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. This match going like damn near the full time. Like God knows what the finals is going to be like.
Yeah. I gave it around 3.5. It was fine. I think I'm only giving it 3.5 because they just worked hard, not because I like it, not because I'm gonna remember it next week. It's just they worked hard, So I'll give it that I'll give them that for this match. Main event time: Evil versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Let me tell you, man, Tanahashi tried. He tried.
Yeah.
He tried to get a lot out of Evil. Dick Togo is in this match for a lot of the time.
Damn near more than evil.
He damn near had his own match with Tanahashi at one point.
Triple threat.
uh, um, Evil grabbed the ref, and then we get the piano wire, which they kind of destroyed the gimmick here. They destroyed the piano wire. A chair came out. Togo is just
rolling my eyes.
It was too much. We know it was coming. There was going to be one match that had a lot of cheating. We thought it was going to be like a Bullet Club match, but they were surprisingly like very subdued.
So tamed.
Yeah, compared to this. I get the story is that Evil is desperate to get wins on the board at this point, so that's why he's cheating a lot more. But then you just have a really fat, or really not fat, but a flat like finish here with this one. Everything is Evil winning here, and I'm just like, bro, I know EO will be looking at these matches like, come on, my dude, like you're my man. He's supposed to be killing it out here, bro.
Yeah, and also this match, there's a spot in this match where the young lion that looks up to Tanahashi, I don't know his name, but he has the curly hair, and he's stopping Dick Togo from like trying to interfere or stop.
Are you talking about Yota Tsuji, I believe his name is?
Yeah, he's trying to stop Dick Togo from preventing Tanahashi from hitting the high fly flow, and then he hits it, and then Tanahashi is just like, fuck it, I'm about to, and then he just goes for a clover leaf instead. I felt like that should have been the finish of the match. I thought that was like perfect. That was glorious. If the match would have ended right there, I probably would have I'm not doing star ratings, but I probably would have liked the match a lot know because the ending felt right.
But they took 15 minutes and said, "Hey, let's give it another 5."
Yeah,
stretched it out.
Just completely ruining that moment. Like that moment was that would have been a really cool finish, but they just said, "Fuck it." I don't know why.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I think it was probably my least favorite main event, and there are a couple that I could have said that about, but it is definitely my least favorite main event on the
definitely
G1
this one.
So the standings as we see now, Block 8, Yujiro is eliminated. He is done. He's out of the tournament. Jeff Cobb, he's lingering there. He's lingering at 2-4 at 4 points. But Ishii, Suzuki, Taichi, and Shingo are all 3-3 at 6 points each. And Ibushi, Okada, Ospreay, and Jay White are all 4-2 at 8 points each. It is going to be a bloodbath next week. Let's just warn everyone here. I think that if you take at this point, if you take one more loss for Cobb, he's out. Another loss because you want to be sitting at around 10 or 12 to win this thing at this point.
You have to pray somebody gets a draw.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bloodbath. A lot of people are getting booted. What are you thinking going into this last week of the G1, Cyrus, for Block A? From what we've seen so far, I'd say that the top 4 of Ibushi, Okada, Ospreay, and Jay White, that looks to be about right. Who do you see getting knocked down a bit next week?
Cobb.
Yeah, for sure.
Controversial, but I'm gonna say I see Ibushi getting knocked out during the stretch. And then it's what I don't think Suzuki and Ishii are winning, so they'll get knocked out eventually. But
yeah, I'd say that Suzuki's probably the next to be eliminated after Cobb, and then Shingo. Shingo has and we're going to get to the this coming week's card in a second, but Shingo probably a little bit after that. But I agree with you there. Block B is a little bit crazier here. You have Tetsuya Naito with 10 points, 5-1. Cyrus, he's only lost one time so far.
And he lost to that trash motherfucker.
Then you have Evil at 4-2 at 8 points. Then you have Goto, Juice, Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata, Tanahashi, and Toru Yano at 3-3 each. This is so I'm talking bloodbath. This is going to be crazy next week because I believe a lot of these people have not faced each other yet. Kenta is at 2-4 at 4 points, and Yoshihashi, of course, is eliminated at 1-5, 2 points only. I'd say Kenta's probably next to go. Naito is definitely making it. Naito is for sure making it to the final night here. I would shudder to think he might actually make it to the finals if they want to give it a lot more.
Like the finals?
Yeah, the finals.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I mean, I hate to see it, and also just like who there's not gonna be a tiebreaker final.
Mhm.
That's for sure. Unless like, well, I guess we will have to see who Naito will face up against next, because somebody has to tie it up. Because no
Yeah.
way he gets like a freebie to the finals.
Let's see. So we have on the 10th in 2 nights we have Okada versus Shingo. So I would say this is the moment Shingo is probably going to get knocked. We have we have Ibushi and Suzuki, Osprey and Taichi, Jay White and Yujiro, Bullet Club meetup, and a Ishii Jeff Cobb match there. So Yujiro could play spoiler on his own man's at this point, effectively, and Jeff Cobb needs this next win to not be eliminated. So I think that's going to be two big matches to look out for on the 10th in A block. October 11th for B block, you have Naito and Evil finally. So if you're looking for that second loss for Naito, I think this would probably be it.
Pain.
This is the third time you've seen this match in what, 2 months, 3 months?
Pain.
Not looking forward to it. We have Tanahashi versus Goto, which I think will be another one for Tanahashi. And I think this will effectively knock Goto down to a point of no return. We have Juice Robinson versus Sonata. Good luck with that one. We have Kenta versus Toru Yano, and we have Yoshihashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. So the bloodbath has begun. There's a lot of spoilers here in Yano, in Sonata, and in Yoshihashi to knock out and knock down some of these people a peg. I think everyone in the B block is pretty much a spoiler for each other at this point.
Yeah. So get your raincoat on. It's about to look like that scene in American Psycho.
Then in October 13th, and that will be next Tuesday, we have Okada versus Ishii. We have Suzuki versus Jay White. We have Shingo versus Taichi. Ibushi versus Yujiro, and Osprey versus Jeff Cobb. If Cobb isn't out on the 10th, he is for sure out on the 13th.
Honestly, I don't even know why you would like want to have him still in there. When he was turning Okada to Hibachi, bruh, I was just like, nah, get that out of here, bruh. There's no point in keeping him.
And then October 14th, we have Tanahashi versus Sonata, Goto versus Evil, Yano versus Naito. If you're looking for a second or third loss, that might be it.
Anyway, I'm praying that match is heat.
It could be over before Naito even takes off his suit. I would say that much. We have Juice Robinson, Zack Sabre Jr., and Yoshihashi versus Kenta. A lot of things at play here. I'll stop it right there before we get ahead of ourselves because I want to see where it stands after the 14th. But the 16th and 17th, once again, those are the final nights of the A block and the B block. They are loaded as well with Okada and Osprey on the 16th. And you have Naito versus Kenta on the 17th. So a lot of things going on the 16th and 17th. But we have another lengthy week of the G1. Our last week of the G1 is winding to a close. It's getting exciting. So definitely a lot of shows you want to watch. Thank you guys for listening to our run through of the last 4 nights of the G1. We'll be back. Let's see when we'll be back. Cyrus, it comes back on the 10th, 11th. Let's earmark Monday down for our return.
Monday.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Monday. Yeah, Monday. Because then the 13th, there'll be the 13th and 14th. So that I think that'll be a lot easier for us. So we could just record day of or on that Sunday. There's no pay-per-views.
I was just thinking about like what I had. I should be straight.
You don't have to do anything. You have nothing to do but watch the G1 and listen to the A Show RNC Network, where we have shows like the Rewriters Room, the A Show, Spot Callers, this very show you're listening to, as well as the War Report. You actually had a Spot Callers finale that just came out today, right, Cyrus?
Yes. A live watch of the Stardom Finals, which is like their version of the G1, and it was great. My friend Alora, she doesn't watch American wrestling, so she only watches like Japanese stuff. So she was just like, "What the hell are the name of these moves?" And so she's inspiring to be the next Corey Graves.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. Not bad at all.
She has no idea who that is.
Shout out to her for helping out on the RNC channel as well. But thank you all for listening to this episode of the G Show. We're winding down. We have about 3-4 episodes left of the G Show. Thank you guys for rocking with us. We're going to see you guys next week on the G Show. Peace out.